So the other day, it was about a couple months ago. I was, I think I was going to dinner, and I was in one of those moods. Like some days you just get in like a certain kind of mood or whatever. And like a couple years before this, when I got my first job, I was decently paid. I felt the need to like kind of go out of my way to like make sure I tip a little extra, just to kind of like, just to go against the stigma that, black people or black men don't tip. And I would do certain things like just to prove a point, you know what I mean? Just to kind of combat those stereotypes. And then I kind of moved up to the northern area and got another job, whatever. I started to feel a little bit different about that. And so I had the thought that, I wrote it down. It was, the more I am, the less I feel the need to prove it. Right. And so when you hear that, you kind of think about like the stereotype of, you might have a billionaire walk into the club with basketball shorts on. You know what I'm saying? Just because he or she knows, what they are and like, whatever their status is, and they don't feel any need to prove it to anybody. Right. And so I can feel that, like the closer I get to my goals, the less I care about anybody else really acknowledging or knowing that. Y'all have experience with those feelings?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I was like, absolutely.
You finally get to the place where you feel that you're successful, but you want other people to know that you're successful, or you want other people to know that, I'm not like everyone else. I made it, and I can do this a little more.
Yeah.
You don't want to be singled out. That black boy, he's broke. You know what I mean? So you make sure 20%, 25%. On a tip. To show. You elevate your speech when you're around dinner and all that stuff. You don't want to sound ignorant, so you talk differently.
Oh, man.
So I definitely feel that way,
Yeah.
and it still happens now. It's going to probably happen for another 10, 15 years until I get to, where I feel that I've gotten to the point where, I'm confident in where I am, and I don't have to prove myself to anyone any longer. But, that takes time. We've all come from different backgrounds, and I think all of our backgrounds, none of us were privileged. We've all had, struggles. We've all had to work through things. So I think that's just part of, our socioeconomic, status of where we were when we were younger, and that still affects us to this day.
I not struggle with that one, but I guess the way I think about that statement that you mentioned, I think about it in multiple categories because it's a combination of like whatever your personal insecurities are, so whatever you battling with within yourself, and also like us as young African American men or women. So it's almost like you feel the need to put the culture on your back, what I'm saying?
For
put
sure.
negative stereotypes on your back, put negative perceptions on your back. So when you're in restaurants and you wearing what you wearing or you looking how you looking, you might do 22% instead of the $5 that she deserve or he deserve. You know what I mean? So, or if you like presenting or you in a room full of people that don't look like you may want to make sure that your tie is extra tight and that your speech game is on point, just because you never know what they're going to take from this conversation or this interaction and place it on the next person they meet
or
that
everybody.
look like you. So I feel like as I've grown and bank account looks a little bit better and my goals are being tacked off, the personal insecurities are kind of like diminishing, but I still feel the need to represent us the right way too, man. So it's an interesting dynamic.
And show that they're different forms of us. Not all of us are the same.
Right.
We're unique, and yes, whatever you might hear in the news, there are a lot of us who are different. So I find myself talking about classical music. Yeah, I like it, but I'll make sure I put it in there.
Right.
So hey,
you need to know that
I'm a little different here. You know what I mean? So it just comes with the territory.
And I want Jimmy gonna talk on this, but as I sit next to him, and hopefully Kev put the visual up, you'll see that he has a sleeve, right? So every year I get a little bit, better, a little bit stronger, a little bit, more financially stable. You know what I'm saying? My sleeves rise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I envision a point where, multi-millionaire, etc. I'm gonna be at the barbecue with a tank top on. You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, who cares what you think of me? It's like I want to reach a certain point to where, you know, my tattoo is just going to be all out. But every year I get a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? My arms get a little bit bigger. And my tattoos get a little bit brighter. So,
so that's a good point. And I think, like, that's, like, my tattoo sleeve meant, like, a lot of people don't know, but like after we graduated college, me and Twan was roommates for a little while.
Okay,
probably like two years. So we were like chasing after this. I would probably say where we are now. We were like chasing after it, trying to groom ourselves to be that. And man, like I used to be like, oh yeah, man, you know, I gotta wear my shirt this way when I go out to dinner. You know, I make sure I sit straight up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that's when I finished grad school, man. I got a really good job, you know, was making some decent money, right? Bank account looking totally different than what it was. And,
totally different.
You know, I was able to do things that I wasn't able to do before. Right. You know, go to these restaurants that, you know, paying these bills that I would never thought, I'm paying this for dinner? You know, but like now I can afford to do that kind of stuff, man. And I remember, you know, like sitting straight up and not put my arms on the table and eating like this and that. And then now that I've had money for, you know, for a couple of years now, and I'm used to my financial status now, I go in them same restaurants, man, and probably put my damn foot on the table. Because I don't give a shit. Like,
you feeling it out,
really? I just don't, because like when you get to a certain level, which is like when I got my tattoo, because it's something that I wanted to do. And it's not that, you know, of course, you know, like when I'm in a professional setting, you know, my speech is different, you know, I dress different. And, you know, I'm not going to say I act different, but I'm a little more proper. But I don't let that carry over into my social life anymore, because one thing that I got to understand is that, and also I always want to be relatable. You know, like, because I'm around, like I said, I was the first person in my family to go to college. Right. So I didn't want to let my success, like, you know, come into my social life and be, you know, and look at somebody who's unattainable.
Okay.
You know, I always want to be
That's
relatable
important
to my family and like I have younger siblings. They have friends. You know, some friends who I went to high school with, and those friends have, you know, siblings who come to my house and everything. And when I come, I try to make sure I'm still same old Jimmy.
Common
you know what I'm saying? Laugh, act the
touch.
fool. And, you know, when I take my family to places, you know, that we've never been before, I want to show them that, hey, look, you can still be you with a little more money in your pocket, and these people still gonna serve you your food. Hello. You know what I'm saying? That's really important to me, man. That's always being relatable, you know, because I used to be, like I said, man, like I was stuck up and I wouldn't say stuck up, but I was like trying to put myself in that box,
playing that role, right?
Yeah, you know, this proper black dude, thinking that, you know, I don't want them to look at me a certain way. But now, like when I go to these restaurants and, you know, the Roof Chris and things like that, man, look, I'm gonna be. You better hope I'm not feeling myself when I come in there. You know, so but you know, I don't act crazy, but I would say, man, I'm always gonna be myself, because to me it's all about. It's not about just me. You know what I'm saying? And I always want to make sure that I'm relatable when I'm in certain situations, man, because I want people to feel like, and people to see that, man, look, I can be just like him, or I can be myself and go even higher than where he is. I don't have to be in this role. Right. You know, so that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, I had a similar thought, but it was a little different more recently, and like just a couple other thought processes, but I had a feeling that playing that role is potentially more detrimental to our culture than one might see on the surface, right? Because I had a thought that I don't want to create this idea that there's a safe black guy and that he looks and sounds and dresses and listens to a certain kind of music in a certain way, right? And so for a little bit, I kind of rebelled a little bit. Like I pulled up to work a little bit louder. I started growing my hair out. You know what I'm saying? I started doing little things a little bit different, just so that you know and you can see that there's a category of black men that we can accept. Right? It's not only the ones that have a nice haircut. It's not only the ones that are prim and proper. You know what I'm saying? Because I just had a thought that like if I perpetuate that stereotype, then it kind of creates a bigger divide, right? And so I was like, well, shoot, let me just, you know what I'm saying?
Be me.
Right.
That's why I said, man, that's the most important thing you can do, man. Like, And for me, you know, like I don't know if a lot of people like know my story. Like after I graduated FSU like a semester early, you know, and then like I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like I took maybe 6 months to like regain who I am.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To like really like understand like what my likes are, because like, you know, being in college, man, like being around a whole bunch of different people, and you kind of like want to be this mold, right? And so I would say, man, like when I took that time away from school, man, I really like took time to myself to like regain like who I am, right?
Okay, reevaluate
and get comfortable in myself,
right.
And like to me, that was the most valuable time. That to me, that time was more valuable than me being in grad school.
Really?
Yeah, because
wow.
I think like to the point and to the topic, I think, man, like there's nothing more important. Like no matter what race you are, but to me, I'm a black man, so I'm gonna say there's nothing more important like than being myself as a black man. Because even though we're all black men sitting in this room, we all different. We all like different things.
Right.
We all, you know, we're attracted to different things. Our passions are different.
Right.
So, you know, I think it's important for us to offer that variety, so people don't continue to put us in a box.
Agreed.